It is a great privilege for me to address the two-day international conference on state capacity in India, building individual and institutional capacities. In fact, let me thank the Director General ASCI, Dr. Ramesh Kumar Garu, Professor Nirmalya Bagchi, the Professor and Dean ASCI, all the deans, Dr. Ramya, who has worked diligently to make this conference possible. The Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances has had a long and robust relationship with the Administrative Staff College of India, which is one of the leading public policy schools of the country. In fact, the gamut of our relationship covers multiple programs like the Prime Minister's Award Scheme for Excellence in Public Administration, the CP grams, which is the centralized public grievance redressal and management system. We've also had a number of other areas of collaboration with regard to having ASCI faculty participating in a number of our national e-governance programs, as also conferences, and the international event, the International Institute of Administrative Sciences DARPG event that was held in New Delhi in February, wherein which ASCI had made a presentation. We are very happy to engage and collaborate with ASCI, and this particular collaboration emanated from a discussion between Chairman ASCI, Sri K. Padmanabhai Garu, and the former Cabinet Secretary, Sri K. M. Chandrasekharji, and when I had visited Hyderabad, and we discussed that one of the foremost needs wherein which intervention is required is enhancing capacity building so that there are significant improvements visible in satisfaction levels of citizens. So, a center of excellence for monitoring and undertaking research studies, conducting conferences, documenting occasional papers and policy interventions with regard to how state capacity building can be enhanced was envisaged. And we could finance this project from within our budgetary grants, and this is the first such conference that is being convened under this initiative. I am sure in the coming years this collaboration would grow further, and we would be in a position to create numerous larger conferences not only at Hyderabad but also in several other venues across India. So let me take you to the subject that has been very close to my heart for the past 7 years that I have been working on, which is grievance redressal, effective redressal of public grievances, and how state capacity building, particularly through structured capacity building programs, can bring transformational reforms and governance models even to a very, very complicated digital platform. So let me take you through the presentation. Please go to it. So the theme of my opening address is capacity building of grievance officers, the Sevottam framework of the Government of India, and this was formulated and finalized in pursuance of a national workshop on effective redressal of public grievances that was chaired by Dr. Jitin Singh Ji, the Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, on 9th of July 2025 at the Indian Institute of Public Administration, New Delhi. In pursuance of that national workshop in which Professor Bagchi had made a presentation on the Sevottam framework, the Government of India adopted the framework that was recommended by ASCI on a pan-India basis to be replicated in all the 36 states and union territories where Sevottam capacity building programs are being conducted for grievance redressal officers. Next, please. So this is the structure of the presentation. What is CP grams? The best practices that are there, the 10-step reforms and outcomes, the Honorable Prime Minister's message about effective redressal of public grievances, and how state capacity building can help realize this vision of the Honorable Prime Minister in terms of enhancing citizen satisfaction and ensuring quality of service delivery. as also the collaborations between DARPG and ASCI. We also have Professor Avnish, who's undertaken this very important study that CPGRAMS is not only a techno-administrative reform, but is also a social reform that is bringing tremendous changes in terms of improving trust levels in government. So I think that study that the Management Development Institute conducted reinforces what ASCI has said in terms of how state capacity building can have a significant impact in terms of the trust levels that are reposed in government's decision making. So, and of course, the futuristic technology reform that next gen CPGRAMS envisages. Next, please. So this is the centralized public grievance redressal mechanism. It is a digital platform, a foundation for smart governance. Currently, it is the world's largest citizen interface platform, and it leverages advanced technologies, multilingual support, robust tracking and feedback mechanism. It also has more than 31 lakh citizens who are registered on CPGRAMS and has redressed almost 1.3 crore grievances, and it has mapped over 100,000 grievance redressal officers. And the average grievance redressal time has come down significantly to 15 days. So what the government assures a citizen is, you file a grievance on CPGRAMS and on the 15th day a reply will come to you, and there is also a feedback call center that takes your satisfaction. So the portal is accessible through the pgportal.gov.in, that is the URL, and it's also accessible through a My Grievance app, Umang, and common service centers available across India. Next, please. So when we started the CPGRAMS reforms about 5 years ago, the knowledge partners we brought in terms of significant technology upgradation. So we brought in, of course, NIC is the system aggregator. We brought in a team from NICSI to look at big data. Quality Council of India's teams were enhanced. We also brought in the common service centers to enhance the outreach, call center operations through BSNL initially and now through Germanium Technologies. Then we have ASCI who came in to help us with capacity building programs. All the 23 ATIs, Indian Institutes of Technology of Bombay and Kanpur, who have worked with us for a very long time. Now we are adding Bhubaneswar IIT also to this group. Then Hashini came in for large language model support, MyGov India for outreach, All India Radio and Doordarshan were roped in. So, and of course the Center of Good Governance came in for the Grievance Redressal Assessment Index. So as a whole, you have the ecosystem of CPGRAMS having multiple technology players, administrative institutions, as also training institutions that have come in. Next, please. Prior to the CPGRAMS, the Department of Administrative Reforms was sending out 33 lakh physical letters. So we actually were sending almost 5 to 7,000 letters to the Gold Dak Khana from Sardar Patel Bhavan every day. In fact, the load was so high that we had to send it in 3 or 4 installments. The Gold Dak Khana found it very difficult to deal with so many letters being delivered at once. And section officers and assistant section officers would spend whole days signing acknowledgement letters of public grievances. From there, we have moved to a system where there is simply no paper. All acknowledgements go online, the citizen can monitor. So this transformation of CPGRAMS from a paper-bound, obsolete, technologically obsolete system into a fully digital organization has been rated as amongst the 100 best technology ideas that will take India to Viksit Bharat at 2047. So this is an article that was cited in India Today featuring CPGRAMS. Next, please. The CPGRAMS has been presented in several international fora, but this is one of the important fora where we presented it to 56 cabinet secretaries of the Commonwealth in the Commonwealth Heads of Public Service and Secretaries to Cabinet meeting.
And
There, after an hour of presentation, we had requests from about 50 countries for replicating this platform across the Commonwealth. Next, please. And we received multiple letters from the Secretariat citing CPGRAMs as the state-of-the-art grievance redressal platform that has empowered citizens across India. We have made presentations to the US government on this subject, we've made presentations to several other countries, and today CPGRAMs is listed as part of the digital public infrastructure which India offers as part of its global bouquet of initiatives. Next, please. The 10-step reform of CPGRAMs that was initiated, and there is a slide on what this 10-step reform is, has had a transformative impact. In fact, it was a radical reform that was brought in. It focused on significant improvements in disposal timelines, grievance redressal timelines to be brought down, new user registrations were the focus, grievance redressal officers right up to the last mile had to be mapped, and also this massive pendency that had mounted in the physical system of almost 10 lakh grievances could be brought down to less than 50,000 grievances for central ministries and about 1.5 lakh grievances for states and union territories. So in all possible ways, it can be said that CPGRAMs has been a transformative governance initiative for improving ease of living of citizens and also for improving ease of doing business, particularly in terms of land-related grievances, labor-related grievances, building construction-related grievances, environment-related grievances for state governments. We found that accelerated timelines in terms of disposal of grievances. Next, please. So as you can see, we have been disposing a huge number of grievances every year. Almost 25 to 30 lakh grievances are being disposed, and pendency levels are at an all-time low. The monthly grievance redressal stands at about 1.5 lakh grievances a month. That is about 15,000 grievances a day are responded to by citizens. Next, please. The state level grievances that come in also have been redressed. The pace of redressal has gone up, and this month 1.22 lakh grievances have been redressed. It's a significant jump, and the pendency is at an all-time low, 1.5 lakh grievances. In fact, when we started this initiative 5 years ago, we thought achieving a pendency of about 50,000 grievances for central ministries and 1.5 lakh grievances pendency for states would be a humongous achievement, given that we were carrying almost 12 lakh grievance pendency. From there to actually see this realization in terms of massive disposal timelines or disposals exceeding receipts on a month-on-month basis has been a phenomenal achievement. As was pointed out, for 37 months we've had grievance redressal of over 1 lakh grievances a month. It is a huge achievement in terms of both central ministries as also the states. Next, please. The Prime Minister reviews public grievances on a monthly basis through his Pragati meetings, and he identifies a subject and reviews it on a monthly basis. The meeting in December 2024 has been quite significant in that several policy directions were issued by the Prime Minister, in which he said that Secretaries to Government of India and Chief Secretaries shall hold monthly review meetings on status of disposal of grievances. He has also said that robust quality metrics and parameters to evaluate citizen satisfaction should be developed. The third, he said, was please conduct root cause analysis and case studies across all states in collaboration with several of the institutions to identify and redress recurring issues. So these directions in terms of timely and quality grievance redressal to be ensured by each ministry and each state government necessitated significant improvements in terms of our capacity building programs, as also improvements in the way we structure our modules. The pedagogy had to be developed. We had ATIs conducting multiple trainings for officers, 1 day duration, 3 days duration, 5 days duration, huge changes across the spectrum of India. Sometimes some kind of synergy and streamlining had to be brought in. That was where we had approached ASCI for streamlining this program of Sevottam. Next, please. The Sevottam scheme was an old scheme of the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. However, it needed to be recast and revived in the format wherein it could train more than 100,000 officers on an advanced technology platform. So the training is to be done by the administrative training institutions. We approached every administrative training institution across India and suggested to them to take up 50 programs of 1 day or 3 day duration. In an average, 50 programs, some have taken 75, some states took 100 programs, and there was an average cost model for conducting these programs. So you have several of the state governments that can be seen: Andhra, Assam, Delhi, Gujarat, Haryana, Himachal, Jharkhand, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Punjab, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh. Every state came forward because this was a common challenge for states to ensure citizen satisfaction levels had to be improved, and that could only happen when state capacity building programs could be synergized and quality of programs could be improved. Next, please. So these are the administrative training colleges that are working with DRPG across India, and you have the range from the Assam Administrative Staff College of Guwahati to HCM REPA in Rajasthan, from JK Impad in Srinagar to the Institute of Management Studies in Thiruvananthapuram. Across the country, institutes have collaborated with DRPG and conducted huge number of programs, and that was how so much momentum could be created into what was totally a moribund program. It could be revived and brought back to life and brought in to usher transformative reforms in CPGRAMs. Next, please. So the portal for monitoring the Sevottam was created. Currently, it is Government of India has tried to adopt technology in a significant way to ensure greater transparency in monitoring systems. So a Sevottam monitoring portal wherein which you can monitor every officer trained, the quality of training that he has undergone has been developed. So far we have conducted about 900 programs and trained out of the 105,000 officers, 55,000 are state government officers, we have trained about 30,000 officers. Next, please. So this is the range of trainings that has been conducted every year, about 300 programs of 1-3 days. In fact, some states are doing even 5 days programs on capacity building for grievance redressal. So every year about 10,000 officers, the capacity has been developed. Next, please. So this is the breakup of capacity building programs across India, and as I said, from the Andhra Pradesh Human Resource Development Institute at Amravati all the way to the Uttar Pradesh Academy of Public Administration and Management, capacity building programs have been conducted, ranging from Srinagar to Thiruvananthapuram. Everybody came forward to work in this unified objective. Next, please. Next, please. So these are some of the snapshots. In fact, we have held numerous conferences to bring together those officials, particularly the Director Generals of Administrative Training Institutes of states, as also the officers, the principal training officers who are handling this program, and several chief ministers came and addressed these conclaves. We have one in Lucknow, which was addressed by the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. We've had Minister of State for Personnel addressing several of them. And as you can see, over a range of time, Lucknow to Pune, there was one in Delhi. Next. There have been conferences at Bhopal, Thiruvananthapuram, and the last one on 9th July 2025 in New Delhi, again at IITA. Next, please. And these are some of the thought leaders of Sevottam. In fact, I was just speaking prior to coming here, talking to the director, Lal Bahadur Shastri, National Academy of Administration. And I was mentioning to him how this particular seed that was planted way back in 2021 has grown roots and has gained so much momentum, has become a pan-India movement. So it was a collective effort by multiple director generals working in tandem and unison to create this massive movement. So we have Mr. Jayakumar from Kerala, Vikram Kapoor from Madras, then Sachin Sinha from Bhopal, then Chandralekha Mukherjee, the DG HIPA of Chandigarh, then Chokalingam, the Yashtra DG. Multiple director generals came together giving suggestions on how we should bring in changes and improvements into the modules. Next, please. And these are some of the snapshots of individual programs, each program being attended by about 30 officers at each institute. And but what we found was the commonality in terms of conducting programs was not there, and we needed to synergize for an advanced intelligent grievance monitoring system. A greater amount of synergy was required across staff colleges. Next, please. So you can find training programs across the country. In fact, MCR HRD conducts more than 100 programs a year. Huge numbers, already 38 they have conducted this year. So massive numbers. In case any of you is interested, I'm sure you can just drive across to MCR HRD and you'll find a program on Sevottam that is being held. Next, please. So that was where our collaboration with ASCI came in. And we wanted to improve. We were conducting several programs, but the quality of our programs needed a review and it needed a relook. Because despite so much of push coming in, satisfaction levels hovered between 50 to 60%. To achieve that satisfaction level above 75%, we needed to bring in greater systematization into our programs so that officers gain greater empathy as also quality of grievance redressal improved. So ASCI came in as a bridge between public distrust due to poor handling to increasing public trust and satisfaction. That was the bridge that ASCI built, and this is a study that Professor Avnish also documented as one wherein which the trust deficit converting from trust deficit to trust dividend. In fact, when Professor Avnish made his presentation, Dr. Jiten Singh ji was very keen and had a lot of questions as to how this bridge between a public distrust to increasing public trust can be achieved in the fastest possible time. And that can be achieved in the fastest possible time provided we develop curriculum, training modules for GROs, as also systematize and conduct trainings in a very large way. Next, please. So this was the terms of reference of our collaboration with ASCI, and over the past year, ASCI has had to go through mammoth volumes of records, interact with a huge number of ATIs, study their various training programs across 22 states and UTs, and then come back and recommend a module that can be uniformly adopted across the nation. Next, please. So this was the release of the unified draft guidelines that ASCI has prepared. I have a copy with me here. This was the one that has been released and adopted across the nation as a model Sevottam curriculum. Next, please. So what ASCI has recommended is having a standardized framework, having a learner-centered advantage, the core modules that are to be conducted, and customizing and digital integration for different levels of officials. So the focus was a Karma Yogi competency model for public officials, particularly behavioral skills for public officials, and to ensure that the Sevottam framework for improving service delivery could be effectively put in place on a pan-India basis. And that is what we have achieved. And what we do notice is, even in the run-up to streamlining this over the past 3 to 4 months, we have seen the satisfaction levels which are collated by a feedback call center across several ministries and departments have gone up to over 65 to 75%. So in terms of capacity building, it can be a game changer, a huge force multiplier if we streamline the way we conduct and train officers to undertake and implement important programs. Next, please. So These were the expected outcomes: quality and engagement in training programs, officials equipped with knowledge, skills, and competencies for better grievance redressal, promotion of collaborative, experiential, and reflective learning, development of responsible, responsive, and empathetic public officials as agents of change. So this was what the model curriculum said. Next, please. And this we have circulated to all states for adoption, and all future sanctions are going to be based only with regard to rigid adherence to this training model. Next, please. So this is the MDI study on CPgrams, and I didn't know this till this morning that Professor Avnish was there. So he will be speaking more on this. How do you build this trust levels across government? A techno-administrative reform leading to a socio-political reform and effective resolution of public grievances can be one of the most important areas for ensuring that trust levels of citizens across India can enhance in government machinery. Next, please. So, grievance to governance models, I think I would leave it to Professor Avnish to present it in tomorrow's session. So let me take you to what is this. We already have an intelligent grievance monitoring system that is rated as amongst the best in the world. So the next step is to take it further. Can we give better redressal, faster redressal, leverage artificial intelligence networks, and create a next-gen CPgrams model in the next 6 months? The objective is to ensure in 6 months' time, by December 2025, to put in place a truly futuristic model of governance under this CPgrams framework. Next, please. So, what we found was, in terms of a technology model and platform, it was a slightly dated platform, almost 2 decades old. We needed to add deepening of analytical layers because the data sets were getting very, very large. And we also found that the citizen interface with which the citizen is interacting with government, even in a technology platform, can become a user-friendly interface. If you see the maximum governance, minimum government model, what you have is bringing citizens and government closer using technology. So to bring citizens and government using technology, we created a digital platform. But that digital platform has to be extremely user-friendly, and we can improve and enhance the user experience every time the interface comes in. So to scale up in a significant way, what DC Mishra ji always tells me is, once you have the next gen CPgrams, 15,000 grievances is an understatement. You will have 15 lakh grievances a day. That is the kind of outreach expansion with which we would be in a position to deal with. So a massive increase in terms of citizen outreach is possible with a hugely advanced technology platform. Next, please. So there are several features that the next gen CPgrams is being developed. My colleague Shri Puneet Yadav, the Additional Secretary DARPG, has been working tirelessly to make these new systems in terms of multilingual support, automated escalation metrics, real-time analytics and reporting, voice-based grievance submission, standardized disposal quality metrics, accessibility features. Each of them is being put in place to create a next gen CPgrams. Next, please. So these are some of the salient features of next-gen CPgrams. It will be a simplified grievance lodging system. There is a massive multilingual support because citizens file grievances in many languages, an interactive dashboard, an integrated feedback and transparency mechanism, root cause analysis, which the Honorable Prime Minister has been directing us to undertake, as also an automated escalation system wherein which an appeal will be put in place. Next, please. So this is more of the process channel in which a citizen can file his grievance on an app, and he will have access to a chatbot, WhatsApp, as also mobile. So when you increase the number of accessibility points, we feel that the citizen interface can go up very significantly. Next, please. So the homepage of CPgrams is being further designed, a Divyangjan friendly home page. landing page is being developed. Next, please. And next. So this is our timeline, and 1st December we go live. That is the timelines that we are currently looking at, and we hope that by 1st December we'll have an extraordinarily futuristic grievance redressal portal that can benefit millions of India's citizens. So this is all I had to share with you. Let me thank Administrative Staff College of India for conducting this workshop. In addition, I would also like to thank them for formulating what are really an extremely futuristic capacity building program modules that are being replicated and adopted on a pan-India basis. And we are sure that a uniformity in training modules, streamlining of trainings, and enhanced capacity building with more than 50 programs across every administrative training institute of states and every central training institute can help realize the Prime Minister's vision of having enhanced satisfaction across India's citizens, enhanced trust in government machinery, and also improve ease of living as also ease of doing business. This would be the actual manifestation of a maximum governance, minimum government policy that would be adopting technology as also administrative measures to bring citizens and government closer. So thank you very much once again.